Hey there guys, this is Professor Hildebrandt. As promised, I'm going to put together some brief videos after your deadlines have passed for your various assignments in Course 10, just to try to make sure that we're understanding these concepts. But again, even after watching these videos, if y'all still have questions about things, please do email me or set up an appointment for one of my office hour slots, and we can do a video chat or a phone call, whatever you're able to do, and whatever you're more comfortable with. So this first video here is from Chapter 7B on unemployment. And so you just had to do an exercise related to unemployment, and it was under the quizzes in Course 10, and it was called Exercise 3A on unemployment. I'm only going to work the last two questions, questions 4 and 5, because those were the ones where there were mathematical calculations. And so first we're told some information about this economy. We're told that it has 1,000 adults. Okay, and then we're given some more information about the adults that are in this economy. And so the important thing here, in order to do the next two problems, is we need to differentiate between which groups in our economy are a part of our labor force and which groups are not a part of the labor force. And so the problem lists out, oh, well, there were 150 retirees. Well, those individuals are not in the labor force. There were 50 prisoners, so in prison, not in the labor force. There were 200, remember what we called them, discouraged workers. And I know it's kind of confusing because it has the word worker in the title. But remember, these are people that have given up. They're no longer looking for work, and therefore they're not part of the labor force. So these groups here, not included, we ignore them for our calculations. So who is in the labor force? Well, the problem then tells us that there are 400 people who are working full-time, so they're in the labor force, and there are 100 people who are working part-time. And so our total number of people that are working, we have 500 working currently in our economy. And then lastly, we're told that we had 100 people looking for work. So I'm just going to say looking for jobs here. So those are the numbers that the problem gives us. Okay, so the first question, question 4, asked us to calculate the unemployment rate. And so I know it's been a while since we did this stuff, but our formula here for our unemployment rate, we take the number of unemployed and we divide that by the total number in our labor force, and then multiply times 100. So going back here then, okay, well, so who are the unemployed? Well, just this one group right here, this 100 that are looking for jobs. So let's plug those in. So we have the 100 who are unemployed, and then who is the labor force, right? That's the other part that we need to know. Well, the labor force is comprised of two groups, and so your labor force are those who are working plus those who are looking, right? And so going up here, the working then is that 500, and then the looking are those 100 that we classify as unemployed. So our total labor force then is 600, okay? And again, with all these formulas, we're trying to get a percent, so we multiply times 100. All right, so working this out then, I could cancel out these two zeros with these two. So 100 times 1 is 100 divided by 6. And so we would get an unemployment rate for this economy of 16.67%. And so that was the correct answer on question 4. Okay, so let's move on then to the last question in quiz 3A. So question 5 here, and it asked us to calculate the labor force participation rate. So again, we need to recall one of those formulas. So let me write it out for you. So this one is the labor force, so the total labor force, the workers and the ones who are looking, divided by, sometimes we'll say relevant population, but most of the time you're just going to divide it by the total adults, okay? And then once again, times 100. Okay, So if we just go back here, we found, right, the number in our labor force to be 600. So that is going right here on the top of my fraction. And then let's go back a couple of screens. Total adults. Well, the total adults was the first thing the problem told us, that we had 1,000 total adults. So we have 1,000 total adults multiplying again by 100. And so we could do 2 zeros here and 2 zeros there. We still have another 0 on the bottom. So what if we get rid of that? 60 times 1 is 60. 60 divided by 1 is still just 60. So our answer for our labor force participation rate is 60%. Remember, what does that one tell us? This one tells us that of all the adults in our economy, 60% of them are either working or would like to be working, right? And that unemployment rate then of 16.67% says out of all the adults in our economy who are wanting to work, 16.67% of them don't currently have jobs. So they're looking, but they don't have anything right now. Okay, guys, I hope this helps, and look out for more of these videos to come to help you guys with these concepts.